I posted about 3 hours ago here in the group saying that I was going to go live and talk to you about pricing and how to price to make sure that you achieve your income goals. And a few of you asked me some questions, and I'm going to cover those questions, and I'm going to cover a little bit of content that I find really helps my clients when they are struggling to either price their services or to set out their service suite in a way that allows them to achieve their income goals. And obviously, you know, I think it's the 28th of December today. So we've all got that 1st of January is in our mind. It's 3 days away. And we're now thinking, right, I've got to get my head around these business goals so that I can have the 2021 that I really want to have. And let's face it, you know, I've said this before in the group and we've all said it, 2021 needs to just, 2020 needs to just disappear now. Like, we're fed up with 2020, aren't we? We're looking forward to 2021. And so the advice I'm going to give you here on this live is going to hopefully help you to think about your services in a way that allows you to get nearer and smash your income goals. So who have I got here watching? If you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. If you are watching on replay, give me a hashtag replay. And of course, any questions that you have, just pop them here into the group, and I will come to those questions at the end, or I might end up covering the content and you might say, Rachel, you've answered it already. So yeah, let's get into it. Pricing. How do you price to achieve your income goal? Well, the first thing that you need to do to price to achieve your income goal is you need to know what your income goal is. Now, the most common goal I get given as a sales and business coach is 100K. People will say, Rachel, I want to do the 6-figure business. I hear everybody talking about it. I haven't reached it yet, and I just want to get there. Help me get there. And I usually question that goal and say, well, firstly, how far away is it from where you are now? Because if you're doing 30K now and you want to get to 100, then we need to really nail down a plan. If you're at 50, 60 and you want to get to 100, then obviously the jump is slightly less. But I usually ask people to reflect back on that 100K goal and make sure that they're setting that goal with purpose. They're setting it for a reason. The next thing I would encourage you to do, once you've set your income goal firmly in your mind, and for easy maths, I'm going to use 100K just because I can work that out when it comes to percentages. So let's say you want to hit 100K a year in your business. I would encourage you to think about not just dividing that by 12 and saying, well, 100K over a 12-month period, that means I need to do 8.3K a month. You know, can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. That's not enough. That is not enough planning in order to achieve 100K. It's simply not enough to just know what that equates to on a monthly basis. Because I would ask you to work this out next. What is your capacity to deliver the work that you deliver? So out of a 52-week year, how many weeks do you want to work? If you have children, I'll help you out because I have a child, and I know that the academic year, the holidays that my little boy has to take from school, gives me 36 weeks in the year. That might be slightly different over in the US, but the academic year, if I want to be a mum that's available for school holidays, then I can only work 36 weeks a year without having to, you know, change my hours and delivery of work to suit the holidays. As it happens, I've got a very supportive husband and he helps me to not have to work 36 weeks a year. I can work all year, lucky me, hey? So think about your capacity. Think about how many weeks a year do I want to work? How many hours per week do I want to work? Are there particular days that I want to have off? Maybe you like the idea of having a Friday off. Maybe you want to go to the gym on a Monday morning, whatever it is. When you work out your income goal and you work out what is it that you want to earn, think about your capacity, okay? Think about your availability to deliver the work that you deliver. The other thing I would get you to think about is think about how you actually want to work. Like, what do you want to do? I know that sounds like a silly question to ask you to reflect on, but you'd be amazed how many people I work with who deliver one-to-one and group programs, and I say, well, where do you like spending your time? And they say, well, I really only like doing the one-to-ones. And I say, well, why are you doing the groups then? And they go, well, I don't really know. So think about, how do you want to spend your time? How do you want to engage with your clients? How do you want to deliver the service that you deliver? Do you want to do a done for you service, or do you want to teach? Do you want to coach? Do you want to consult? Think about how you're delivering your service now, how you earn your money, and ask yourself, am I living my best life? Am I diving out of bed in the morning, absolutely looking forward to delivering the work that I deliver that earns me my money? Because we know that all the other stuff that goes on around being an entrepreneur, you know, there's a lot of unpaid work, isn't there? There's a lot of sales and marketing, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of other things that go into being an entrepreneur. When it comes down to you earning your money, are you doing your best work? Are you spending your time doing the things that you love? The other thing I would get you to reflect on, so we've talked about capacity, we've talked about doing your best work, doing what you love. The other thing that's really, really important is a lovely segue into pricing. And you'd think I'd done this before, huh? The lovely segue into pricing is to think about the price of what you offer, the investment. What is the investment level that you are asking for from your clients when you're doing your best work? What are those services and what do they cost? What are your costs? So let's go back to that goal of 100K. If your average cost of a service, whatever that service is, easy maths, let's say your average cost is $1,000, pounds, whatever it is, it's 1,000. 100K divided by £1,000 per investment means that you have to deliver, or you have to win 100 clients. Yeah, easy maths. 100 clients in the year who each spend $1,000 or pounds with you. That would be a really simple way for you to achieve a 100K business. But you might be sat there thinking, but Rachel, my average price isn't 1,000. I have a high ticket, you know, for 5,000. I have a mid-ticket item. I have a low ticket item. I do done for you services. It might look different for you. That's fine. You just need to work it out according to your services. Now, let's say you have 3 different service price points. You have a low ticket, a mid ticket, and a high ticket. All I would ask you to work out is, when you think about that 100K goal, which of and what quantity of your services do you need to deliver, do you need to sell in order for it to add up to 100? So it could be that you deliver X number of low tickets. So I've got an example here on the screen of low ticket is you sell 100 low ticket items at $200 a piece, which means that nets you 20K. Add that to your mid-ticket, where you sell 40 mid-ticket items at $1,000 a piece, and that nets you 40K. So 40, add the low ticket, 20 means you're at 60. And then you've got your high ticket, where you might sell 8 of them at $5,000 investment, and that would net you 40K. So let me just share the screen, and that will actually show you exactly what I am referring to. So I'll go down small now. Hopefully you can see my screen. So you can see there, if I have got a 100K goal, we know that that equates to 8.33 a month. It's not enough to know that. I need to think about how many days a month do I want to work. I need to think about how I want to spend my time. And then I need to think about whether I'm doing low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, and how much volume of each service do I need to sell that's realistic and achievable for me in my business. And then at least you know that in this example, you're looking for 100 low ticket buyers, 40 mid ticket buyers, and 8 high ticket buyers. And it could be that your 40 mid ticket buyers are also the same people that bought your low ticket. Okay, so I'll say that again. Not all of these have to be different clients. It could be that you convert your mid ticket from your low ticket, and it could be you convert your high ticket from your low or your mid ticket. So when it comes to building sales journeys and client sales funnels, you need to think about how your services knit together to create a natural journey for your clients. Because once you have a really good relationship with somebody, they are going to want to work with you again. As long as you've delivered on your promises, you've delivered a return on investment, there's no reason why a low ticket buyer wouldn't then buy from you in one of your mid or your high ticket items. So I wanted to share this with you because it sets it out really clearly how you could arrive at 100K and how you could use this to build yourself a really simple sales and marketing plan, because the volume of leads that you need is dictated by how many of these services that you need to sell. So if your conversion rate, for example, on your low ticket item is 10%, and again, easy maths, then if you're going to sell 100 of them and you convert at 10%, that means 90% are going to say no thank you, which means 900 leads are going to say no thank you. So 900 plus the 100 that you win means that you need 1,000 leads in order for you to convert at 5% and sell your 1,000 at your $200 investment. That's going to net you 20K. So I hope that's a real simple example. I can see I've got a question coming in here. I think it's a question. Hi Claire, hi Rose, lovely to see you both. If you've got any questions, then let me know, because I can check them here on the phone. But let me know, ladies, what do you think of this example? Does this make 100K look really quite simple? I hope so, because it can be this simple. It really can be this simple. So let me stop sharing so that I go, there we go. Got me back on the screen. So yeah, let's go back to pricing. So that shows you that you can set your income goal. You can consider how you want to spend your time, what capacity you have, and whether or not you're going to do a number of different price point services, and how you're going to think about your conversion rate and therefore the number of leads that you need, how to make that goal really, really possible. Because until you've got a plan that makes it look and feel possible, you might say out loud, I want to do 100K, but you won't believe it in your heart. And if you don't believe it in your heart, it isn't going to happen, because the actions that you then take won't align with the goal that you're saying you want to achieve, but the belief is not fully there. So on the subject of belief and sales mindset, if you haven't already seen in the group, I'm running a sales mindset bootcamp, totally free of charge, here in the group. I'm going to be live for a whole week, not constantly for a whole week, but I've got a number of little mini masterclasses to run on the 4th to the 8th of January, all on the subject of sales mindset, sales belief, helping you to reframe sales into something that you can love rather than something that you can, well, that you feel terrible about. I know so many people here in this group fear sales. It makes them feel awkward. It makes them feel sleazy. It just doesn't make you feel good. And so I thought we should kick off the year with a sales mindset week, because that will give you a really, really amazing launch pad into 2021 and get you all fired up for sales mastery, which is what we're doing here in the group. So yeah, if you haven't signed up for the bootcamp, I will drop the link below this video when I finish, and you guys can register for the bootcamp so that you get all the reminders and you get all the replay videos sent to you in a lovely little package from me. So let's carry on with pricing. I'll just have a little sip of my gin. Oh, that's nice. Those of you that are in the US, you're probably looking at me drinking gin thinking, she's starting early. What is she doing? Well, here in the UK, it's just gone 6:30. So that's my end of day chill out drink. So yeah, once the health kick starts, there'll be none of that gin. It'll just be water. So let's think about your options when it comes to pricing. So you've got a number of different ways that you can price. And Claire, I know you're here watching. You asked me earlier, Claire, how do you price in a pandemic? How do you price when there's a recession going on, when people are thinking about and talking about affordability and reflecting on their finances and weighing up whether they can afford something. What does that mean for your pricing? So I will cover that for sure. And then you also asked about freebies, which I will come to. So you've got 4 different ways really that you can price, okay? One of the ways you can price is you can price as you would have done, as you would have thought about your day rate, your weekly income when you had a job. And a lot of people that I work with right at the beginning when they're starting their businesses, this is how they think about money. This is how they see their income goal. So for example, if you were earning 30K in your salary a year, they would just think about, well, that 30K now needs to be my business revenue target. No, wrong. That will bring you in so far underneath your income goal, it won't even be funny. So please don't make the mistake. If you're still working now and you've got the goal of giving up your job and you're setting an income level, do not set it at your salary price, your salary amount, because what that doesn't take into account is how much time you have in your day, your week, your month, where you're not delivering work. It won't allow you to have any downtime. It won't allow you to spend enough time on sales and marketing. And it will give you a false estimate of what your pricing should be. It will mean that you price so far under your competitors that you won't look like good value. You'll look too good to be true. And therefore people will question it and will wonder, why are you coming in so far under your competitors? So don't allow your old salary or your current salary to dictate your pricing, okay? Oh, we've got some more people joining us. Hi, Mary.
Mummy, where's Daddy?
I don't know, darling. Mummy's just doing a video.
I've been shouting for him.
Okay, we'll go around the house and look for him.
No.
Okay, we'll wait for him. Sorry, that's my little boy. Come to join me. So yes, you have an option of thinking about your old salary, but that is an option that I am going to screw up and say, no, that is not good. I've got notes here. So if I screw it up, I know I'm not going to go back and say the same thing again. So that is an option that's off the table. You are not going to use your old salary to price your services, okay? Because that will mean that you're coming in too low. You're absolutely coming in too low. So my other little note here that I've got in front of me is another way that you can price your services is you can price your services based on your competitors. So you can do some research into your industry, into your sector, into your market, and you can look at some of your competitors and you can figure out roughly what you should be charging. Do I advise that? No, I don't. I think you should be aware of your marketplace. I think you should be aware of the minimum and the maximum price point. I do believe that you should be aware of it. The danger in researching pricing using your competitors is that little imposter syndrome voice of, oh, they're charging X and they're charging Y, and I wasn't going to charge either of those. What does that say about me? Am I worth it? Are they worth it? Is anyone worth it? It causes all these doubts. It causes all these mindset concerns. So I would say be aware of your market, be aware of average pricing, but don't set your heart on coming in at a particular place in the grand scheme of the benchmark. You know, don't say, well, if the minimum is this and the maximum is that, I'm going to go straight in the middle and sit my pricing there, because that isn't going to reflect apples with apples. You are not your competitors. You are not them and they are not you. You are unique. And for that reason, I'm going to say, don't use your competitors to set your pricing, because you're unique, you're you, and nobody can deliver what you deliver the way that you deliver it. Nobody has your life experience. Nobody has your business knowledge, your business know-how. Nobody has what you have in the exact way that you have it. So for that reason, I'm going to recommend that you don't use your competitors to set your pricing. That's another one I'm screwing up. We're on to the third option now. So the third option for pricing is the charge what you can get method. And this is dangerous. Again, like the other two, there's pitfalls of these. The charge what you can get method is dangerous because you end up chipping away at your own value. You end up thinking, well, I wanted to charge X. The client says they've got Y. And actually, if I discount to Y, I know I'm going to win the client. So I'll just sell it at Y. And then another client comes along and says, well, I've only got Z. And so then you drop to Z. And it ends up being a race to the bottom. So the charge what you can get methodology, I totally understand because I've been there. I started my business 5 years ago with this methodology. I was a bit like, well, I don't really know what to do. And I'd done a bit of research and that didn't really tell me anything that I didn't already know. And I did a little bit of the charge what you can get method. And what that meant is that I undercharged. When I realized that I'd undercharged, luckily it wasn't too late. And I made sure that I got an absolutely amazing testimonial from that client. And they were a highly known, well-established household brand name in the UK. They were a nationwide business. Everybody knew who they were and everybody respected who they were. And I'd undercharged them thinking, oh, I just want to win the work because I know that they're a well-established brand and it will look really good if I say that I've worked with them. And luckily, it wasn't too late for me to make sure that although I'd undercharged, I did a really good job for them. And I got the most amazing testimonial that actually, I would say, even now, 5 years on, is probably the best testimonial that I have on my website. When the regional director was actually thanking me at the end of the event, it was a face-to-face event, when he was thanking me, he actually welled up. It was really quite something. I was so proud of that piece of work, but I always associate that with my biggest pricing mistake because I priced it so low. But luckily, I got a great testimonial out of it, so it didn't matter. So the charge what you can get method, it's a race to the bottom. It encourages a price war. If your competitors are researching your pricing, they will see that you are charging less than them, and it will, I don't know, it just won't feel good. So the other thing that is probably an end result is it will make you feel bad, because if you drop your price and the client still doesn't go ahead, you'll feel shitty. You'll feel terrible because you'll think, well, I'm going to win the work. I'll drop my price and then they'll say yes. And if they still don't say yes, because clients don't always do what we want them to do they? If they still don't say yes, you will feel like shit. And nobody wants that. So I am going to teach you, if you're here in this group and you know anything about me already, you will know that I will make it my life's work to teach you how to sell. I am totally passionate about impacting 100,000 women. That is my new goal. I want to impact 100,000 women to teach them how to sell in a way that's highly confident and highly successful. So I will teach you how to sell in a way that you do not have to do a race to the bottom. So I'm going to screw that one up and get rid of that one. So the last one now is, I've got some comments. Claire, have watched your webinar, was fab. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Claire. Thank you. Oh, and Rose is tagging in a friend. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. So the fourth option, this is the option that I recommend. This is how you should be pricing your services. Okay, so think about the 100K goal that we looked at earlier. Think about whether you use your capacity, whether you think about your low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket offers. Think about all those things, that when it comes to your actual services, how you should be pricing your work is it should be aligned with the value that it delivers. Okay, your pricing should represent the value that you deliver. Your pricing should represent the return on investment from the client's perspective, not yours. Okay, of course you need to feel good about your pricing, but the person who needs to feel even better than you about your pricing is the client. Because let me tell you this, right? You can talk about whether something is great value. You can talk about whether something is good, but it's not until somebody can associate that level of good with their own life, with their own feelings, with their own value system and belief system. I call it value appreciation. So you have value proposition, value observation, value recognition, that I can see something is good, but it's not until I appreciate that value by associating that with me and my life and how I feel and my finances, and depending on what the service is, I need to be able to appreciate that value. So let me use the example of a piece of art. Okay, I'm not particularly into art, but it is a good analogy. It's a good example. You can see a picture of a piece of art that you think looks amazing. Yeah, you might say, wow, that's an amazing picture. And therefore you are recognizing its value. You are recognizing it's good. You like it. It's not until you think about where you would put that picture in your house and whether or not it goes with the decor, whether or not it goes with the theme of all your furniture, whether or not it goes with your lifestyle, whether or not it's a picture that you want to wake up every day and look at, whether or not it's a picture that you want hanging in your toilet, your kitchen, your bedroom. Not until you appreciate the value of that picture in the context of your life that you decide whether or not you might be a buyer. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. You can also use the analogy of an outfit, yeah, a dress. Let's say you're out shopping and you see an amazing dress, and you might look at that dress on the mannequin and think, oh, wow, I absolutely love that dress. It does everything for me. I love the color, the cut, the fabric. I love everything about it. It's not until you assess that same dress in relation to how you might feel in it, how you might look in it, the event that you're going to in that particular item that you're there shopping for. It's not until you assess their value appreciation that you decide whether or not you want to buy the dress or not. Looking at it and liking it is not enough. Take me, business coaching. Somebody can look at me and say, wow, Rachel looks like a great business coach. It's not until they say, yeah, but is she a good business coach for me, for where I'm at in my industry, at my point on my journey? Is she good for me then? Same for you guys. You can look like you're good at your job, and I'm sure you all are amazing, but it's not until your client to be takes the way that looks and associates it with their life, the way they feel, their finances, their return on investment. That is when a buyer becomes a buyer, when they realize that that is absolutely what they need right now. And when it becomes really clear to them that what you are presenting, what you are recommending is exactly what they need right now, and the return on investment that they will get, whether that's financial or emotional return on investment, that is worth it for them, then price doesn't even come into it really. Price then is one of the smaller things that people consider, because once the need and the urgency is there, the price becomes a more minimal factor. Okay, but before you've actually delivered that value appreciation, price feels like a really big factor, but it really isn't. In the grand scheme of things, when somebody books a discovery call with you, they've already put themselves into that process. They've opted in to the discovery call. You haven't dragged them in and said, right, sit there, we're having a discovery call. They've booked that of their own free will. They've booked that based on what they already know about what you do, on what they believe whatever your job is. So for me, it's what they believe a business coach costs. And they put themselves into that process. So please know that at that point, you're already most of the way there. Okay, don't go into your discovery calls thinking that you're at ground zero, that you've got to start from the beginning, because actually they've already put themselves in the process. So my fourth example of how to price, and the one I recommend, is price based on return on investment. price your services based on value and value appreciation. Please, guys who are watching, does this make sense? Does this feel like a way that you could price your services that would help you to achieve your 2021 goals? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Is this making good sense? Okay. Oh, I need another sip of my gin. Oh, that's lovely. It's pink gin, so it's really refreshing, and it's got loads of tonic, so it's not too fattening. But it's lovely, really refreshing and zingy. So yeah, there's your 4 pricing options. So I'm just going to now finish with covering the questions that I was asked. And so the first question from you, Claire, was pricing in a pandemic. Like, what difference does that make? Should we allow that to make a difference? My advice is no. And the reason I say that is because whether or not we're in a pandemic or a recession, depending on, you know, where you're based and what the market's like where you are, to me, none of that is relevant, because supply and demand is the basic rule of buying and selling, okay? And whether or not we're in a recession, whether or not we're in a global pandemic, which we clearly are, it doesn't matter for your pricing, because supply and demand will always exist. Where there is a demand for what you sell, you have to go and find that demand. So if the people that were once demanding it aren't demanding it anymore, that's a different situation. What you need to do is change where you're looking for the people that now demand what you do, or thinking about supply and demand. And I've done this year. I have done exactly this. I had a face-to-face business that is still going at the moment. You know, we're still doing a lot of training. It's a training company, and we have managed to change the way that we deliver, and we deliver online now. So it wasn't that the demand needed to change, it was the way that we supplied that needed to change. So what I would ask you to do is think, Claire, about your supply and demand situation and what impact has the pandemic had on that. Are the people that once demanded what you did before the pandemic, have they changed? Have they changed what they're buying? Have they changed why they're buying it? And if they have, then you need to make a decision around, do you need to change the way that you supply it, or do you need to go and find new people that are demanding it the way that you want to supply it? But what I don't think you should do is reduce the prices. I do think it's sensible to offer people payment plans if you can. However you take your funds, your investment from your clients, think about payment plans. But don't get yourself into a situation where you're constantly having to chase people for money to make payments, because the clients that shop purely on price are always the worst clients. I shouldn't say that really, but I am, because it's true. If somebody is purely shopping on price and they're hammering you and hammering you and hammering you on price, saying, oh, but it's a pandemic and I can't afford that, well, they will always be the most difficult clients to look after. I promise you. I promise you. Because if they're hammering you down on price, it's because they don't see the value. They see the dress looks good, but they're not sure if it looks good on them. And they're thinking, well, maybe it will look better on me if I pay less for it. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So don't get fooled into reducing your price just because we're in a global pandemic and we might be in a tricky financial situation. Go and find the clients who do need what you do, who will value it at the price that you want to sell it at, because I promise you they're out there. I promise you they're out there. Okay. So that's that question. I hope that answers it, Claire. Oh yeah, it looks like it does. Perfect sense, true story. Yeah, go girl. So let me just touch on your question around freebies. So you asked me, with freebies, you know you need to give the freebies, but how much is too much? And a saying that I always use with freebies is just don't give away the crown jewels. Okay, so if you sell, I don't know, like I'll use me as an example. So I sell one-to-one coaching and I sell group coaching programs. And I do loads of free stuff. I come live on video, probably most days, whether it's here or Instagram, and I'm in give mode. I give loads of free stuff. And I know that when I give that free stuff, that clients and clients to be think, what if she's doing this for free? Imagine how good the paid stuff is. So those people are of the mindset that don't give anything for free because then the client might not come for the paid stuff. Actually, that holding back means that you are going to hold back, you're going to prevent those inquiries from coming. So I've had some really amazing inquiries over Christmas, amazing inquiries from some great clients who I was having discovery calls on Boxing Day, guys, right? And they were inquiries that I hadn't reached out to these people. They'd come to me because of content, because of, places that I show up giving free stuff. And so, yeah, if you're in a position to give free advice, Claire, then go for it, because what you're doing is you're demonstrating your credibility, you're demonstrating your experience, you're giving people a really good reason to first want to follow you, to secondly want to tune in when you do any live video or when you share, an opt-in or a download or a free webinar. You're giving them a really good reason to want to be there. And I would say trust your instinct. If it feels like you're oversharing, you probably are. So just recognize where that line is. So for me, I take investment from people to join a group program. I wouldn't then go and do live video using all the material that's in my group program. I record videos like this and I put them on my YouTube channel, but I wouldn't record a paid session and put that on YouTube because it's not right. So there needs to be that distinction between paid and investment. And if it feels like, instinctively, if it feels like you're going too far, you probably are. But I would say give value every day. Give value every single day. Because when you're thinking about maybe your value ladder, so the slide I shared earlier with the low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, if your mid ticket come from your low ticket, that's your low ticket upsell is your mid ticket, and your high ticket is your low or mid ticket upsell, then all the time you're giving value and credibility. What you're really needing to do is to get people into that low ticket, get them into the free space, get them into the low ticket, and then upsell them to the mid and the high. And that way you make your life so much easier, because you're not then constantly having to do big fancy launches for the high ticket stuff. So on the subject of launches, I am doing a launch webinar tomorrow, how to launch your services without tumbleweed, without silence, without that awful feeling of, oh my God, I did all that and nobody wants to buy from me. So I'm going to be doing a webinar tomorrow all about launches. So again, I'll put the link below. Again, it's free. And that's another great example, Claire, of me giving free stuff. So at the end of that webinar tomorrow, of course, I'm going to give you guys an offer of something that you can do to get involved in working with me, the low ticket option, because that's how I work. But you don't have to buy it. Everybody can put themselves into the process or take themselves out, but the free stuff remains there to demonstrate credibility and experience. So that is that question. I hope I've answered that. What was the other thing I was asked? I was asked for a couple of tips around discovery calls. So, yeah, on the subject of value, I would avoid letting your discovery calls run on too long, because that is a common mindset is, if the client who's booked a discovery call wants to stay on the call longer, that's a really good sign that they want to work with me. No, they're just trying to take as much as they can get. And so I would always, if discovery call is 30 minutes, keep it at 30 minutes. Somebody asked me about discounting. Don't discount anything unless there's a really good reason to do it. So what I would usually say is different deal, different price. So if the offer changes, if there's something about the offer that changes, maybe the term, the commitment grows, maybe the volume that somebody buys grows. if there is a change in the offer, then you can change the price. But if you're trying to sell something for $1,000 and somebody says, well, can you do it for 900? No, the answer is no. It costs $1,000 unless for any reason they want to change the service. Maybe they want to take it from a 6-month program to a 5. I'm making it up, but you get the gist. Yeah. If the offer changes, then you might think about discounting, or you might say, well, no, I can't do it for 900. What I can do is provide you with a payment plan to make it more affordable for you for where you're at in your journey. So yeah, don't discount, avoid discounting. If you discount, you teach people that the price that you offer at is not the price that they will pay. You teach them that they should always ask you for a discount, and that's not what you want to be educating your clients in. I think I've covered everything on there. So I think that just about covers it, everyone. So I hope this has been really useful. I hope those of you that have watched it back, it's been a valuable use of your time. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. And I hope that you're going to be able to join me tomorrow for the How to Launch Your Services webinar and for the boot camp on the 4th of January. I'm so excited for the boot camp. I can't wait, because I know that I'm going to be busting some myths for you on sales mindset. There will be things that you feel right now about sales that are holding you back. And I am hoping that by the end of the Sales Mindset Bootcamp that you are saying to me, Rachel, I never realized that sales could be this much fun. I never realized that I was feeling that way until you shared that story with me. And now I recognize it and I feel differently. I'm now more excited to sell. Because let's face it, guys, you know, as entrepreneurs, I usually say, you know, sales and marketing is probably 70 to 80% of your week. And if you are not spending 70% of your week on sales and marketing, then that is a really good reason why you're not winning enough clients. So are you, ask yourself the question, are you spending enough time on sales and marketing? And how could you find more time or better use of time to get more output for the effort that you're putting in on your sales and marketing? So yeah, ask yourself that. So that's it from me. I'm going to go and drink the rest of my gin and tonic. And usually when I come off these lives, a few of you will send me little questions. So if you have got questions that you haven't answered in the comments, I am always available for you. That is what this group is here for. We are all about sales mastery and mentorship. So, you've heard me talk about giving value. If you've got a question, just get in touch and I will be here for you. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.